So underneath the driver's side, this thing right here. I think if I take that one out, it's just gonna slide down. I think that's the pedestal that's holding it on there, and then I can just loosen that one there and slide the old cartridge out and put the new cartridge in. Should I venture a guess at what size that is? That's an E8. No, it's E10. E10. I know all my metric and standard wrench bolt and nut sizes by eye, but I'm still trying to learn. So there's an E10. Looks about right. I'm still trying to learn the sizes of the Torx by eye. It just takes working with them. Oh, look at that! I was right. E10. Okay. Probably a good location for power ratchet, but my little bit too stiff for the Makita battery operated. Maybe for the bigger one. I got the smaller one though. Probably like if on your car, say you go out and you look at your smart car, normally there's a plastic shroud covering the whole backside. Whoever had this car before, they took the shroud off or they broke it and then just removed it. Like on this one here, it still has the plastic cover on. So if you go to do your fuel, look at that jack, that's just barely on there. If you go do your fuel filter in your car, you're probably gonna run into this shroud, and there should be yeah, bolts are on the inside there, so all along the inside of the fender well, and then there's probably a couple in the center, and then it should come down. But luckily, for time's sake today, this one doesn't have it, which is why this filter bracket is starting to rust out, and why there's probably more rust on the underside of the car than there should be. Eject. Eject. And where is it catching on? Oh, it's catching on the back side of the line. And like that. This one has those collapsible clamps on there. I don't have those style clamps. I have the regular, you know, stainless steel hose clamps. So I'll use those. I'll disconnect those hoses. Disconnect the line. I think so. One is fuel in, one's fuel out, and one's a water sensor. Oh, that's one way to get it off. Damn it. Yeah, it's a little small for the plastic welder to fix that, maybe. Everything is brittle. Not that I couldn't have took it off without breaking it, but it was a little bit brittle. Has a good quality hose on there, but it's sticking on there a little bit too. Okay, I got it off. It's not too much diesel coming out, but I stuck it back on there quick. I'm gonna go get the other filter just so I could change them out real quick. I have a few assortment of sizes of spring clamps. Just gonna make sure I got the right size one that'll fit on the hose there. Got a Napa filter. Napa. But it's not Napa, it's made by Hengst. Is that what the name is? Hengst. Hengst filter. It's exactly the same as, except it doesn't have the sensor on there. Did they give me the wrong one? So that's the water sensor, and those are the. I have to look at that. I ordered the one with the water sensor. This one doesn't have the water sensor on it. Okay, so there's two Torx, or what are those, Allen keys? Two Torx holding the water sensor in. And then just got to put the new hoses back on and mount it in the mount, or unscrew the mount, pull the old one out, put the new one in, and then it's going back in the car. I'm gonna make sure and fill that up before I change the component over. That's how you bleed the air out of it. You don't have to take it right out, but just loosen it off, and when the air comes out of it and then you start getting fluid out, just tighten it up, and then you bled the air from the system. I'm gonna fill this one up at least at least 3/4. That way I don't have to keep turning the key on and off to get the fuel pump to fill up the filter. It's that color because it has ATF in it, and I'm making a mess again. Well, I'm not saving this filter, so I might as well just bend those tabs up instead of risking breaking the sensor. There we go. It moved. It moved, and I didn't break it. So happy. So happy. So happy it didn't break. Just like that. So how was that situated? It was situated away from those. Okay. Yeah, seals look good. Make sure there's no crud on them. So one tab is bent one way and the other tab is just a slot. So it can only turn in that way, so it can only go in one way. sensor seems pretty sturdy, but I still don't want to take my chances. So I'm going to try to pry it in. Or, it's not going to work either. Okay, the sensor just wasn't down far enough. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so the tabs are fine. You got to give it one final push to seat it in there, if it's not down all the way. Okay, so it's right filled up with diesel. I don't got to worry about letting the air out of it. But I don't know, I'll start it up and we'll see. Still is a good idea to purge the air even if it's full. So I'll cock the valve open a little bit, and then I'll turn the key on and see what squirts out of there. When I have the garage all set up, everything's all set up nice, and I have some good tables, and everything's off the floor, then I can worry about making sure all my tools are nice and clean. At the moment, all this is just triage. Need an economical vehicle, but I couldn't afford my Nissan Kicks anymore, so I sold it to the dealer. Or sold it to get out of my payments back to the dealer. I just won't tighten it all the way, so I can still turn it one way or the other. Okay, so I'll mount it in place, and then it can find its own direction way, or it can find its own angle which way it's got to be. There we go. That'll keep the clip from popping off there. And that's not a fuel pump, that's just the water in the fuel indicator. So it's no big deal if it does pop off, but it's best if it doesn't. Okay, so I'm going to turn the key on a couple times, and we'll see what happens. I can hear bubbles moving somewhere. I think it's fine. Yeah, I don't think there's any worry. I'm gonna start it. It was filled right up, and I think the bubbles went back in the return, so. Okay, yeah, no need to bleed it. If for whatever reason you're worried about it and you want to get the air out of the lines, Like right now the fuel is coming in on the big one, and it's going back out on the small one, I think. Yeah, big one coming in, small one going out. You see you see those lines there? They have a, they loop back up, they come down, go up and back down. And even where the fuel filter and water separator was sitting, it wasn't the highest point. So if you fill the canister up and you turn the key on, fuel supply goes in, air bubbles, and fuel goes out. So if you fill that up, I don't think there's too much need to bleed it. If this was the highest point, sitting up high somewhere, then yeah, sure, bleed it. But this is not the highest point. But if you're worried about it, unscrew the top there just a little bit. I don't think you need to unscrew it all the way. You just need to unscrew it enough to let the air out and let a little bit of fuel come out. So unscrew it a bit, turn the key on, and watch for the air bubbles to come out, and then fuel. And then once you get fuel coming out, then close it back down, and then you're good to go. Okay, so I just got to mount it back up there, and it's done. And just like everything on the smart car, it doesn't have to be too tight. Okay. There we go. And that doesn't have to be too tight. Just has to be snug enough it's not gonna come loose. There. Done. So here's the old filter. I poured out what was in there. Like, it doesn't look too dirty in there, but I don't know how much water is in there. I don't think there is too much water. Would have came out. Yeah. This is probably the one it came with from the factory, and it's not too dirty at all, but for peace of mind, I changed it out.